Welcome to Dental Hygiene Development. We invite you to listen along as we discuss everything dental hygiene, from personal and professional development. My name's Autumn.
And I'm Paige, and we're just two best friends discussing what we love to do. Grab your favorite Diet Coke, Diet Dr. Pepper, maybe a glass of wine, and join us as we discuss anything dental hygiene. Hey guys, it's Paige and Autumn here from Dental Hygiene Development. We are bringing you our July 15th podcast, and we have titled this one, How to Get Involved and Make a Change. We love this topic because I think it's important to get involved in your community, and it's fun to incorporate your career and what you do every day and turn that into something that you can do as like maybe considered mission work or volunteer or something that's more heartfelt and fulfilling, than just your job, which hopefully you're fulfilled in your job as well.
Hopefully.
But we're excited to bring some ways that you can get involved and maybe bring another aspect to your careers.
Yeah.
One, Autumn's probably going to really be able to share with you about is getting involved with the GDHA because she is the current president. Go Autumn.
Yeah. Maybe. Well, when this podcast comes out, I'm still going to be the current president. But yes. I will say that's coming to an end. That doesn't mean GDHA is over for Autumn. That just means like the presidency's over for it.
That's right.
So it's definitely been something that I have done so much more this year than I have in the past.
Yeah.
And I am kind of like upset with myself that I waited 10 years into my career to really find something besides just going and seeing patients every day in the chair to try to make a difference. Because I think it kind of goes back to the attitude and gratitude we talked about a couple weeks ago. Like, it fills your cup and it helps with your mental health and how you just handle your everyday. Like, we got to give back. Like, we get so much, and I'm truly grateful for the job that I have and being able to provide for my family. And we, especially in America or in general, we just take dental services for granted.
Absolutely.
And there are portions of our population that we have to remember that do not have access to the things that we have.
Yeah.
And if nobody's helping advocate for those things, if we're not getting involved and helping out, then a lot of people go underserved.
Absolutely. And I think people forget, kind of like you said, like, it's within our own communities. Like, it's not some far off distant thing. Like, there are immediate needs in your community. Like, there's probably somebody even that's come in for their maybe general cleaning, but they legit cannot afford, further services, and it's just a financial thing. So I feel like it's really good to, one, be aware of resources for those people that you may spot, but also, getting involved so those resources do exist, because they wouldn't exist without people getting involved and volunteering. So we definitely like to encourage you to look into that.
And I would say that especially there's probably more access to care for kids who are underserved because of things like Georgia Medicaid, and there's a lot of people who take care. Well, not saying that every kid gets it, but I think they focus more there. But I think one of the places that is missed are elderly population.
Absolutely.
And just the general, like, everyday person who's just struggling to take care of their children, and they can't take care of their own health.
Yep.
And unfortunately, how the Georgia Medicaid system is, like, kids get cleanings and stuff. Yep. They don't even get that as an adult. Like, if you don't have the funds for it and you can't pay for it and you don't have insurance, like, you don't have the option to use Medicaid. Like, they will pay for, like, an extraction if you're in pain.
Right.
But they won't even keep up with the preventative stuff to help you maintain your gum health, to make sure you don't have other issues that pop up. And I think it's our job as the dental community to get out and get in touch with the people who can make these changes.
Yep.
And you don't necessarily always know what it is, and I didn't, and I've learned a lot this year of what those things are and how to help, because there are coalition groups and people who are out there to get involved, but they need help. They need they need a strong voice. And if it's not coming from the dental community, that dental health is important to the rest of the health, and that the people in our state and our nation need coverage, and they need to be able to access these things easily, who else is going to do it?
Yep.
Like, ain't nobody else gonna do it.
Mm-hmm. We definitely have to be a voice for those people. I know of a hygienist who she noticed that there was a huge need in like the elderly population, and she's actually gotten she had to do a lot of work to get to this point, but she can actually go in and do cleanings and stuff in the nursing homes as a hygienist. And I think it says a lot about what they're allowing hygienists to do now, and giving, like, loosening the reins a little bit, like accepting us as a licensed, practitioner in a sense who is capable of doing that. And I think that does help, us be able to serve more needs. And so I think that's great where you get into like advocacy and all of that, which I know GDHA is really big about, expanding our duties and what we're allowed to do. So I think that's great.
Yeah, it's not like we want to be able to practice outside of our scope. Like, nobody's asking to go into a nursing home and pull teeth or do fillings, but we're also, if no one else is going in there to do it, like, who else is better equipped and has the knowledge to say, I think it's really important that we find some way for you to get to the dentist.
Yeah.
And I know in Georgia we've really been trying the last couple of years, especially after COVID, to work on teledentistry, because telemedicine is a thing and they should all be incorporated. But it's amazing how it gets pushed around and pushed out and, around the, under the rug, as they say. But like, I also know somebody who she has her own business, and that's what she does. She goes and sees the elderly, and it's so underserved.
Yep.
And, we need to make sure that we get access to care. And we're in the United States. You would think that Georgia doesn't have that problem, but like, when we were in hygiene school, I remember every year, I don't know how it is since COVID, but did you get to go on the trip to Moultrie?
No, I did not.
I didn't either. But some of our, every year, most of the time, it's part of like something, only a certain handful of students get to go down, and they work in rural Georgia where there's not hardly any access to care, and they do sealants on kids.
Yep. And
they do oral cancer screenings on adults, and just like, and then they get other people. I know I work for ASPEN, and every year they take them, well, minus COVID years, they take a mission trip, and they go out of the country and do the same thing for the people out there. But it's important to get to the outside of the country and mission work as well, but I feel like we need to start like at home.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things that you can do to get involved to help the people at home.
Yes. Even like you can go to like resource centers, like I just know Backpack Buddies is one. Like, if you have like products in your office that you're not using or maybe have expired or something like that, like, different organizations will take those and give them to the homeless, or it kind of trickles out of like, it's small, but it's helping people who may not have access to a toothbrush or toothpaste. And
let's face it, our offices get tons of them.
Right. And a lot of times that does happen, and it gets just thrown away. Like, it's easier to take it to the dumpster than to drive down to the donation center or find a place in your area that would be accepting those donations. So we encourage you to just take that little bit of an extra step and say, hey, just donate those extra products that you might have. That's a little thing that you can do that makes a big impact to a lot of people. So it doesn't even necessarily have to be something really huge. Like, just start somewhere, and the more you do it, I think it kind of trickles into doing more, because you love it. It kind of feeds your soul. So
there's also volunteer, like, I know around the Atlanta area. If you just like get on some of these Facebook pages, you'll see people post. There's different vans that go to schools that need volunteers. One of the big ones I know around here is Healthy Mothers, Healthy Babies. Yeah. That's a coalition group, but then they also put on a thing every year where they do free dental work for mothers. And they put it out there, and you can volunteer to work there. So you don't just like volunteer your resources, but you volunteer your resource of time. Right. And, your actual skills to be able to help them get the stuff that they can't get to when they don't have the money and the insurance to take care of it. So I'm sure if you just like get involved with your local community, Of course, I'm going to talk a little bit more about GDHA, but if you get involved with those things, then they typically can help you find other things in your area if it's truly something that you just feel like, man, the Lord's been calling me to do something more, and I can't find out what it is.
Yep.
Then you can start with the resources that you have.
Absolutely.
And that hygiene degree is a huge resource that you can use to help so many people around you.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure, this just popped into my head, so I didn't have time to look this up, but I believe Jet Mobile is like a big one. They have like a mobile dental service, and they are always asking for volunteers. I'm not sure if they're more like local to us or if they're more of a corporation where they have different plants everywhere, but it's a good company to like look into to see if they have volunteer opportunities in your area. Because I've seen them post, we're looking for, volunteer hygienists this Saturday in such and such area. So that's another good way to kind of just, if you have one day you want to step out and go help serve, that's a good way to do it too.
Yeah, I know at Aspen they have a couple of things. They have a mobile dental van that
That's cool.
I forget what it's called. It's like, but they will drive it around, and you can volunteer in it. We also have day of service, which is, if you don't work for Aspen, then you can't really volunteer these things. But if you know like of a veteran who needs help for a day of service, it's actually coming up very soon. Well, by the time you hear this episode, it's actually already been gone for the year. But just like so in the future, like it comes normally in June. And we do free services for veterans. And so every veteran that comes in that day to any of the offices that are open, it's a Saturday in June, and we give free services. So it's a really good way to give back. But you just they're out there.
Yeah.
Like the point is that those areas to give back are out there, and it'll fulfill you, and then you can turn around and give and feel better about going in your job every day.
That's right.
Like I feel like you need to fill your cup sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think for your office too, it's a good way to show like who you are and that you do care about your community to have days like that. I know a lot of people are doing, marketing strategies and, trying to attract patients, but if you come at it from like a genuine place and, have days like that where you can volunteer your time and your resources, I think it helps your practice grow as a whole too when you're, I don't know, it's like good vibes, like you put out good vibes, you get them back, and you're going to attract those type of people that, want to support someone who's, got that kind of heart for others, I think.
Yeah, and I think like you can pick times in the year, like I feel like Christmas time's a good one to pick a family that has come through and they can't really afford things for their family, or just pick one person that could really use your help in the office. Just go in and do all their work for free, and really bless that person.
It's
or
so fun.
If you if on a Veterans Day, in November, if you find a veteran that that needs help in your office, that you could gift that to somebody, or like a Memorial Day or like those kind of things. Like you can always find. On Mother's Day or Father's Day, you can find a holiday that you can just pick somebody who who you can gift them that for that holiday.
Yeah.
And it's a really good way for the whole office to really get that in and really be able to make a change in somebody's life. And it's a really good way, I think, for offices to bond.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, it's great to do like team building stuff and all that, but I feel like there's something extra special about getting together to do something for someone else.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But of course, I'm going to come back and, like I said, we're going to talk about GDHA. Here in Georgia, of course, we're in Georgia, so it's GDHA.
Yeah.
But all the states have some form of ADHA or, like, their professional organization.
Yep.
With ADHA, every state, we all try to raise money for IOH. IOH is the foundation that is made, it's brought up and supported by hygienists, but it's also for hygienists. So we give scholarships to people who are trying to get in hygiene school. We also help go serve other communities outside of it. So it's one of the ways that if you're already a member of your state association, it's a lot of times if you can go on their website and give to IOH, or you can find ways to like set up donation centers, or like really just help find ways to raise money for that.
Yeah.
You can do that in every state because they all do that for ADHA and GDHA. Another way is just to help find the advocacy group that you're working with in your state to not just advocate for hygienists, but to, like, we spend a lot of time advocating for the underserved in our community. And I've always been one that kind of steer away from politics. It's not my favorite thing, but it really does take a lot of work and a lot of persistence to make small change for our community.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time, like, one of the things we were working on bills that had to do with dentistry, as far as like scope of practice and composition of the board of dentistry and all those things that affect your profession. But we're also, one of our main objectives was teledentistry. So, like, we're really trying to work with a coalition called CoAge and, like, all these things to get this type of access to care for our patients. We have someone who, at the public health and just in general, we help, like, water fluoridation. In 2022, why in the world are we still discussing people who don't have water fluoridation in the state of Georgia? Like, seriously. We know it works. We know that's what keeps people healthy, and they still don't have those things. Like, that's just amazing when you sit back and think of it. So those are something small that, your professional organization can get involved. And you can get involved. And you can be as involved as that you want to. You could literally just be a member and giving your money to your state association helps build the numbers and support, and your money goes out there to help us do things for these people and help advocate for these things. So if you don't feel like you have the time right now to give to, like, go to these types of things,
hands-on service,
but you still want to feel like you're giving back, giving to your professional association is likely going to, like, if it's a professional like ours, you can go and see where the money goes. Like, you can request our treasurer's report to see where it goes. But I promise you that these professional organizations are working hard to make sure that your community is well served, as well as your profession. Yeah. But, like, really just getting involved. I know we talk a lot about this being a community, but that's a bigger community outside of this as well, that you get to work with people every day who do the same things that you do, and find out, where your friend may be volunteering, or I didn't even know about that coalition or other things or the volunteer opportunity, but maybe I'm looking for it next year. All these things that are coming up, and you just have to get out there and look for them. I promise you, if you search for them, they're there.
Absolutely. And I feel like it's one of those things, like, a lot of us are just ignorant to what is out there. Like, you kind of forget that there is this need, because you may be in an area where people have the money, or it's a prominent area, and you forget that there is this other community right next door that needs help. So I think it's good to just be mindful and reminded that there are people who are in serious dental need, and that you do have a place in helping with that. So
yeah. And, I think the more that we find these things and we continue to work and you get involved and work with your, state associations and, these different coalition groups, you don't have to be a member of your professional organization to work with coalition groups. Like, you can get involved. You could typically find your coalition groups either online just by searching them. You can go to your professional organization's website, and you don't have to be a member to find that information. Yep. But, like, volunteering your time, volunteering your money, your ideas, because let's face it, like, we're all working in this every day. So you may be in an area that you just moved there and you're like, wow, this area it's completely different from this area that I just came from that was well-to-do, and all the children got their braces, and, like, the things that you don't think of. And a lot of patients or parents think that braces are, cosmetic, so they don't have the money, and then, like, Medicaid doesn't fund it, and the next thing you know, you have kids down the road who've had malocclusion that have caused so many dental issues, and, like, their teeth are falling apart because they're not coming together properly, and it could have been all prevented. Like, a lot of these things that are just basic preventive services, like preventative cleaning, preventative x-rays and exams. If there's an issue with occlusion, if they can prove that it is not just a cosmetic thing, like, these are things that should be should be able to be accessed by everybody. Preventative services, I feel like something that everybody should have access to.
Absolutely.
I mean, if you want to whiten your teeth, that's on you, right? Like that, if you're and you don't have any like traumatic occlusion and you want to straighten your teeth or just fill a space, that's you.
That's different, yeah.
But if you truly need something that will help your systemic health and even self-confidence, like the person who's walking around who has a front tooth that's broken, like right now, I can't tell you how many times I've had patients come into my office and they just say, like, I haven't been to the dentist because I don't have insurance, and I am so glad that I get to wear a mask right now.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Like, that's so sad that you feel unconfident.
Yeah.
And it could just be the smallest thing.
Yeah.
Like, to help them.
People who won't smile or be in family pictures because they really don't have access to fixing the legitimate concerns they have about their teeth, or they've had rampant decay, or even people who like had a rough patch in life and neglected themselves, and because of that have had bad outcomes of their teeth, and now they've gone through a lot to like improve themselves, and their mouth is something that holds them back, like in their careers, or lots of different effects with that. But it's just, it really goes a lot further than just, this is, my teeth don't look good. There's a lot more to it than that. So,
And I mean, even if it's not something that you can give your resources of time or money to, well, maybe a time, I would say educating is probably one of the biggest things that you can do for somebody, even if you can't give them the service. If you can educate them on the importance of things, like new parents who've never been parents before and don't really have great education, just learning that you can't leave a bottle of milk or juice in a baby's mouth overnight.
Yeah,
like that could change that baby's whole like dental health for the rest of their life, just by educating someone that's in your chair, even if they don't have the money to do their treatment, but you notice they're pregnant or the kids there, like you're just giving them education pieces are ways to give back and to really help your community and make it better, and just sharing your knowledge.
Right, absolutely. I mean, I even feel like that might be a good idea, like even if your office can't, provide physical dental services for free, like have a day where you have like, patient education, like demos or something, like even stuff like that could make an impact. Like you said, just education, or going into a specific area where they're underserved and they don't go to the dentist, like, maybe trying to go into the schools and, do a little conference there or whatever, like, there's so many different ideas and ways you can do. And honestly, I've went to schools before and like talked with the kids, and it is so fun for me. I love it. Like,
what's that little
we had an alligator with teeth, and we would brush his teeth.
What's his name?
I don't know his name.
Yeah, but you could like squirt water out the back of him too. Like there was like a little pump and he just like squirted out of his mouth.
It's so fun.
Yeah, and he had to type it on. Like those are things that you can do, and it doesn't even have to. You don't even have to like find a underserved area, because I guarantee you, if you're a parent, or even if you're not, if you find just like the kids like a school near you, whether it be your kids or not, and you ask to go in, I'm sure these schools, especially now that COVID's kind of going, coming away, like you can go back into things and spend your time educating, because even though some of the kids may know what's going on and they have parents who are educated and doing these things, I guarantee you there's somebody in that class that is underserved that nobody else really knows about and doesn't have something like a toothbrush. And so if you went and just educated them on how to use it and brought them one, like a fresh, clean one and some toothpaste, like that may change one person in that class, but that could change their life.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, it doesn't take a lot, and it doesn't take a lot of money, and it doesn't necessarily take a lot of time to really get involved and to help. Yeah. So I think just, like I said, you can go online, you can go anywhere and find these things.
Yeah. And I feel like sometimes hygienists get to the point where they feel burnt out, and I feel like this is, and so you feel like, oh, I'm tired, like I don't really want to do that. I feel like you should do it even more, because I feel like Autumn keeps saying, like, it will fill your cup, like it'll help with that feeling of burnout in your career. So if you're feeling that when you're like, oh, I don't have time for that, like I'm doing it all week, I don't want to do extra, I would encourage you to just push yourself to do it and, see how it affects you and your attitude and your gratitude moving forward. But
and your physical and mental health. Like,
absolutely.
I think all the things that we've been talking about lately, like, it all comes full circle, and there's a lot of things that you can do that doesn't help other people, but it helps other people, but it helps you too.
Yeah.
And it helps your attitude, and you find things that you're grateful for, because maybe you never grew up in an area that didn't have those acts. Like, I grew up in an area, my parents took me to the dentist every 6 months if I need work that needed to be done. At this point in my life, if there was work that needed to be done, whether I wanted to pay for it, because I'm sure I can find other things to pay for than my dental services, but if it's something that I need to have done because it's going to affect my health long term, I have the ability to pay for it.
Yeah.
And I have insurance that pays for it. And a lot of people, we don't realize that other people don't have what we have. And we take it for granted. So I think just stepping back and realizing that we can't take everything for granted.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure.
It will change your life, and it'll change somebody else's life.
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. I mean, I think we hope that you are encouraged from this and that you do decide to get out there and just make even the tiniest little impact. And if you do decide to do something and you find something that you've really enjoyed, make sure that you share it with us so that other people know about it, and it might spark their interest in also getting out there and helping and volunteering and filling a need. So as always, like, share, comment, and engage with us. And we appreciate you listening.
We appreciate you guys. Thank you. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.